Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Hi, I'm Jennie McCafferty for the Michigan Golfer, and we are at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort on the Pacific Ocean. And how exciting it is to be here. And with us is Erik Peterson, who's the Director of Communications.
So we're standing here on a plateau at the second tee box of the Bandon Preserve par 3 course, and actually in the background you can see some people putting out on the 17th green at the Bandon Dunes course. So this particular spot is a great view of a lot of different areas of the property, and actually if you pan back over to the left you'll see the first fairway and the first green of the Bandon Trails course. So really 3 different golf courses you can see from this point specifically. And the Bandon Dunes course is the original course at the resort. It opened in 1999. It was designed by David McClay Kidd. And then this course is actually the newest course, Bandon Preserve. It's a 13-hole par 3 course designed by Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw. And the idea with Bandon Preserve is to provide sort of a different angle to your golf experience here. It's 13 holes, which is a little bit strange for a lot of people. It's all par 3s, so it's different than all the other courses. But the one really neat thing about it is that every penny of net profits from Bandon Preserve go to an organization called the Wild Rivers Coast Alliance. So about a month ago, we just did a check presentation, Bandon Dunes did, to WRCA in the amount of $600,000. And so WRCA is a fantastic organization that really benefits the economy, the community, and ecology on the Southern Oregon coast. And so they'll provide grant funding for all sorts of different entities that can really use the support, the financial support of something that serves those needs. So it's just another kind of neat wrinkle to the Bandon Dunes story, that it's not just about great golf, but it's also about having an impact in the local community.
Altogether, Bandon Dunes Golf Resort has 5 courses, and then the Punch Bowl will be another one. The second one that came on to the resort is Pacific Dunes, and it was designed by Tom Doak also. And Erik's going to tell us a little bit about it, but what I remember from a couple years ago is really a lot of interesting plants, including some that are native and some that are not. And it was the gorse in particular that got my attention. So tell us a little bit about what makes Pacific Dunes so special.
So here behind me we've got the Pacific Dunes course here at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort, and it was the second golf course that was built here on property. It was designed by Tom Doak, opened in 2001, and a lot of people say that it's their favorite golf course, although we're pretty lucky that all of the golf courses get about even acclaim when it comes to awards and notoriety, and really when people rank their favorite courses. But Pacific Dunes really captured, I think, the attention of the international golf scene, just in how naturally beautiful it is, how fantastic the golf holes are, and when you get out toward the ocean, there's some views out there and some vistas that are truly unique and unforgettable from a golfer's standpoint. So it's an amazing project. I think some of the highlights of it are that it's very minimalist. Mr. Doak, when he designed it, wanted to sort of react to the natural terrain rather than move dirt around himself. And so when you do that, you're left with a lot of natural surrounds. So if you can take a look out at some of the features of the course, all of those were here when the project started. There were, like, if you see up on the hill, you can see some gorse plants. There were some plants that had been here for centuries before this project started, but there was nothing really that was added, and there was nothing that was really forced. Everything about this site and this golf course was, like I said, just really meant to kind of react to the natural terrain. So it's a beautiful golf course, it's a challenging golf course, and I think above all, it's an unforgettable golf course. So we're here at the old MacDonald course here at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort, and we're actually standing on the bluff behind a couple different holes. If you look down the fairway, this is number 4 green on back to the tee box. It's a long, difficult par 4 that, if in the prevailing wind, if it's blowing from the south, can be an incredibly daunting task. From the black tee, it plays about 460 yards, and it's a par 4. And if you're playing that into a 30-mile-an-hour wind, it becomes about a par 6 or 7, possibly. But tremendous golf hole at number 4. And then we go here to the 5th tee, which is a par 3 to a big green. And this green that you can see is really characteristic of all of the greens at Old MacDonald. They're They're all probably the biggest greens ever built in the last 100 years, or in America, certainly. And so it's an amazing array of bunkers. Just the sheer size of them is quite remarkable. And the architects, Tom Doak and Jim Urbina, really designed this golf course in honor of Charles Blair MacDonald, who is considered one of the fathers of American golf course architecture. He built the first 18-hole golf course, which is Chicago Golf Club. And so what they did with Old MacDonald is try to replicate some of the holes that C.B. MacDonald may have designed. They're not necessarily designed after any holes specifically, but some of the C.B. MacDonald holes that he's built over the years, like say the Redan hole or the Alps hole or some of the famous holes out there in Scotland and Ireland, they tried to build holes that he would build that way. So it's not necessarily trying to copy holes that have already been built, but really just trying to pay respect for the design that C.B. MacDonald might have, the stamp he might have placed on this piece of land. So as you can see, the terrain is relatively flat, however, so it's easily walkable, but you can see there's still a lot of elevation change, and particularly the greens are very undulating, and there's still a lot of texture to the layout. There's a lot of sort of rolling hills, so while it is walkable, it can be pretty demanding, especially if the wind blows. We've caught it on a pretty calm day today, but if the wind blows, you can get some pretty interesting shots out there.
Well, Eric, there's one other event I've heard about that sounds really cool, and it's on the longest day of the year. Can you tell us what happens?
Yeah, it's called the Summer Solstice event, and it's an event where people can come to Bandon Dunes and not just play the golf courses, but play all 4 18-hole courses in one day. So you play 72 holes all in one day. So it ends up being a tremendous athletic achievement. So it's one thing to come to Bandon Dunes and play 18 holes or play 36 in a day, but to play 4 in one day is quite remarkable. And it ends up being this achievement that you didn't just come to Bandon, but you ended up achieving something like that. The smiles on people's faces when they finish is pretty neat, because they've done something that a lot of them have never done before.
It reminds me a little bit of running an Ironman Triathlon or something. You get major bragging rights.
Yeah, I've never run a triathlon myself, but some of the guys who do are that sort of level of athleticism. And there's different types. There's some folks who try to just grind it out, and maybe they aren't a runner, but they want to just play all 4 courses and do something challenging. But those guys don't do as well as the guys who are maybe runners or triathletes, like you said.
We should remind people that none of the courses at Bandon Dunes use riding carts. Everybody walks.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And I think that American golf, when you really think about it, kind of your stereotypical course, you think of riding in a golf cart. And so we don't have golf carts here. And really the purpose of that is that one of our mantras is that this is golf as it was meant to be. And God bless golf carts, but that wasn't really what golf is meant to be. And so we think that walking really provides a more pure golf experience, and there's more camaraderie. It's more of a physical challenge. It's just there's more enjoyment versus getting in a cart. You sort of break away from the other 2 people in your group. It's not as much of an exercise. So we think there's a lot of advantages that make your experience a more pure links experience when you walk.
And not only that, it's really fun to look out over the courses and see groups of people, and there are no carts to mar your view.
Yeah, and everyone is all in the same boat, right? And so you look over and you're like, oh, yeah, we played that hole, or oh, they're playing that hole, I can't wait to get there. And so you kind of all feel like you're in it together. And even if you see a group walking up a hill and they don't even know who they are, you kind of feel like they're going through the same experience you are, and it's an unforgettable one. So.
Well, there it is, another unforgettable experience at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort.